What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back. Getting ready to record a voiceover on a toolbox I picked up. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I picked up the toolbox a couple of weeks ago, put it together, put all the stuff in it, and well, the tools in the toolbox. But I'm gonna try to do the voiceover because it was a little warm. I had the fan on, so background noise and audio is not all that good. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Check the About page of my channel, which you can see is behind me here. Check the About page for info on P.O. Box if you guys want to send anything. Got the P.O. Box online. Been hectic with a lot of stuff, so I'm trying to do a video here and there as I can. I still have some things coming to the channel that I'm going to work on as I can. I'll get those together and put them up when I can. Thanks for sticking in there. Approaching 330 subs, which is great. Channel's growing. It's growing slowly, but it's growing, and it's nice. So I'm trying to do my best I can. Got the wedding coming up. As you can see here, the video. Go check this video out. That's the wedding gift box that I made. That was the last video that I put out. That took a couple of weeks to shoot. Just with everything else that's going on, trying to do the video of that and then try to put everything together. Then I had to edit it, and I wanted to shrink it down so it wasn't too long. So this video, for the toolbox, I have to see what I'm going to do with it as I'm doing it, because I'm actually shooting this video after I've already shot the video for the toolbox assembly and everything. There's no toolbox tour, so if you're going to stick around, if you want to see that, leave it in the comments below. But right now there's no toolbox tour. It's just pretty much the assembly, unboxing and assembly of the toolbox. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and I might speed the video up, as I was saying, to do like a time lapse or run it in real time, just so you have an idea how long it takes to assemble the box. Alright, any questions, leave them down below. Thanks for watching. Remember to give the video a thumbs up at the end if you liked it. Any comments or criticisms, appreciate it. Thanks, and have a great day. Alright, G Standard toolbox picked up from BJ's Club. Not sure if it's similar to like a Sam's Club or a Costco. Just going to do a quick voiceover here. Well, it's not really quick. I think the video total length is like 25 minutes or something like that. I sped up the video in some points and slowed it down in others. It's a stacking toolbox that stacks on a lower cart. So you could take the top off, and then you'd have a cart that would move around with 2 drawers and a flip top storage area. Now I'm cutting the side of the box open so I can get the thing out, so you can see that the blade isn't going in that far, so I'm not cutting the side of the box. So cutting the side of the box open so I can pull the toolbox out of the front of the box. But 2 people, if you're a little bit of a weakling, 2 people might be needed to get it. But you can see I'm kind of scrawny, and I was able to get this home by myself. You are going to need a car that has some space though, or an SUV. Who doesn't have an SUV now? Alright, so cut that open, and all the parts and accessories, just a block of styrofoam. The wheels are in that brown box. That's the handle for the cart. There's also instructions in there. This right here is the instructions, and both sides there. I'll show you some of that stuff in detail later. And the last piece that's in there is the cover for the side of the bottom toolbox. So set that aside. That actually came wrapped with like plastic wrap on it. All the drawers have liners. You can see that there. I'll show you the stuff in the box in a few minutes. And all the liners are removable. So there's the one on the top. There's one in each drawer. And I was a little curious, that drawer just seemed like it didn't want to stay closed. So overall it was packaged nicely. There was no damage to it, I guess from the manufacturer to BJ's when I picked it up. So that was good. So fiddling trying to get the styrofoam off the bottom of the box. There he goes. Alright, now I can set this down on the floor. I'm trying to be mindful and keep the toolbox in view so you guys can see the assembly process. A little tape on the front there to keep the flip up. The door flips up to keep it from flopping open. I'm just being overly clean, picking all the little pieces of styrofoam off of the top of the toolbox. And there's the toolbox that sits on the top. Now I was curious, I was like, it's in here, and at this point I hadn't seen that the side of the thing's open until just then. I realized that the side is open. And I was wondering how to get it out. And that's what that red piece is for. That goes over the side. But you can see there's the toolbox there. Underneath the toolbox, there's 4 screws. It's Phillips head, and you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver for the assembly of this whole toolbox. I was trying to pull it out. I was wondering why it didn't come out, so I decided to flip it over. I guess if I'd have read the instructions, it would have told me that there's screws on there, but you know, we put the instructions aside. Yeah, here, I'll give you a closer look at the 4 screws on the bottom. Wait for it. Fiddling to get the camera out. Try not to keep the image stable and not all shaky. There's one there. There's one there, and 2 down there. You can save the screws if you want. I saved them, so I guess if you need to pack the toolbox when you're moving and you want to pack it up in this fashion, you can do that later. So got the Phillips head screwdriver, took the screws out, and I guess I should have sped this up a little bit faster. But yeah, you take the 4 screws out, and then you can lift the toolbox out. Just grab it by the handle and pull it straight out. I'm looking at the instructions. And I'm like, oh, okay. So here's a look at the instructions here. And it tells you here that there's the 4 screws are on the bottom of the toolbox holding the inner one in place, and that you pull it out of the side. Then you take that little red cover and you put that over the side to close it up, and that's the handle. The instructions to assemble that, I'll show you that later. And then there's also with the casters just slip in, and I'll show you that in detail later. There's some warnings there, how to remove the drawers. I didn't try to take the drawers out, so that's up to you if you want to try to do that when you get yours. And that's what it'll look like when it's done. Alright, so back at it. I'm still reading over the instructions, and I think I need to pause there. Alright, so we're good to go. pull the toolbox out. Sort of like operation. Don't touch the sides. And toolbox is clear. Alright, so we got that out. I'm inspecting it, making sure everything looks okay. I was thinking, wow, this isn't very secure, but the bottom doesn't lock. The lock that's on the toolbox is only on the toolbox, and that's the upper piece. The lower piece has no lock at all. So the two drawers and the bottom cabinet are non-lockable. So I was grabbing the tools. I opened up the box that had all the little accessories in it. There's a little bag that has screws in it, and I'll show you that in a second here. Those are the screws that hold the side in. There's 8 screws total, not counting the 4 that you took out of the bottom to hold the toolbox in. Those you can put aside. Those are the little pegboard clips, and that's the little bag of screws. So that's the instructions. So the screws that you need are the number 5, and they're the tiny ones, and they're used to screw the side on, as I'm showing you there. Alright, so let's get this sandwich unwrapped, because they literally used saran wrap or like plastic wrap or something like that. So get this unwrapped. And there we go, got some of it off, but it's sticky. If you've ever played with plastic wrap, you've really good plastic wrap, not cheap plastic wrap. Good plastic wrap sticks to everything. Alright, you line it up. There's a little tongue at the top. The top tongue goes underneath the top portion, and the bottom half has a little flange on it that goes over. So you're putting the top part in, the bottom part comes out over. You line up the holes and you put your screws in. And there's one. There's one at the top. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember. I know the bottom had a little lip on it. I think the top was the same way, or it went under. I don't remember. I'd have to look at that and see. But I'm watching a video as I'm doing this voiceover, so maybe when we do a close-up of the handle on the side, which that's what those spots are up at the top of the toolbox. So next up now is to put the casters on. And there's the caster. That their wheels. The wheels are plastic. So you know it has a weight rating. So I mean you could probably find steel ones and upgrade them. So I was going to try to see if I could push them in while it's on its side, but I think what I need to do is flip this over. I got the one partially in, and just so I could have some traction on it so it wouldn't pinch or my hand wouldn't slip. I grabbed some gloves. But yeah, you're going to have to stand it up. You can't lay it on its side and push the wheels in. I realized that when I went to put the second one in. You can put your locks wherever you want. I put the locks on the front where the doors are, and you want to take the lid and put the lid up to the cabinet before you flip it over. If not, the lid's going to flop out and you might end up denting it or scratching it. So That's what I was illustrating here, is that you want to put the lid up. So you have the two in, and here's a look at the front ones, or the locking ones. So they free spin. When you twist it to lock, then the wheel doesn't roll, then it comes free again. I ran into an issue when I was putting in the front casters, or the locking casters on the front. When I went to push them in, they're a friction fit. When I went to push it in, there's a little brass ring that sort of locks and holds it in. That ring slid all the way down the shaft. See, it went all the way down, so it needs to be in that groove, so I need to slide it back up. So after fiddling with a screwdriver here, see if I can get it to slide back up. Once it popped out, then it was really loose. So I need to use some pliers to crimp it in a little bit. It tells you on the instructions that if you put the wheels in, the casters in, and they pop right out, then you need to spread the gap on that brass ring a little bit. And see, that one's on there now. And after I did that, it went in fine. But they tell you that you either need to crimp them if they're difficult to get in, or spread them apart to get them to fit without any problem. So that is the last wheel that I need to put in. So that one's in, and we're all set there. Actually, that's the part where I ran into an issue getting the last one. Okay, now we're all done. So we flip it back over. And at this point, we're ready to complete the assembly. Slide the toolbox out the way, and there you go. There's a look at the front. I'll give you a walk around afterwards. I was still curious as to why that drawer, the top one, when you push it in, it would click, and then I figured out that I had to actually push the bottom one and it would click. So I get the toolbox lined up, I start to unwrap it, and I realized that they taped the side. I just cut the tape. Realize that you guys can't see, so let's adjust the camera. A little bit higher. And there you go. Now you can see the toolbox as it gets unbagged. It's an unbagging video. The one thing I like, but I'm not sure if I like or not, is the hinges on the toolbox at the top. There's a lot of friction in them, so wherever you lift it to, it will stop and it will stay there. If you get the same toolbox, I don't know if that'll be the same case with you, but mine, wherever I lift it, and I'll show you that in a second, like if you open it a little bit, it stops and then it'll stay there. There is a lock-in bar on the back, so if the drawers are all pushed in and you close the lid, they're locked, they won't come out. And it gives you a set of keys. You get 2 keys, a little pouch to hold them in, and it's just a little flip up hook. You flip it up, the top is locked, it won't lift up. On the sides of the hinges do lock though. You have to push the lid all the way up and push the hinges. Well, I find it with mine I have to do it. You have to push the hinges in and they'll clip and they'll lock in. And that was me. I pulled them out. They stop right there. Wherever you lift it to, it will stay. It won't shut or open. So you don't have to worry about it slamming on your fingers. So I'm just demonstrating that here. So it's not gas charged or anything. So when you close it, then when you open it, the drawers are open. If you close it and that one's out, it won't lock in, but the others will. The others drawers will stay closed, I should say. But you can't close a drawer that's already open if you've already closed and locked the box. Okay, assembly of the handle on the side. That goes in through the top, and then you have to tilt it back, or pull up on it rather, to get the holes to line up for the screws. I'll give you a close-up of that in a second. And I figured I'd get one in here so the handle didn't come out and smash my toes. Yeah, I've been doing this whole video with no shoes, but it was hot. I just wanted to relax, and I wanted to shoot this video and give you guys great content. So you go in through the top. There's 4 screws. There's 2 on this side. I'm demonstrating there that you go in through that slot and you go down, and there's 2 on this side here. And 1, 2, and there's 4 total. See, 4. Yeah, and a note on that side panel. The top does go up. The top portion goes up underneath the toolbox, and the bottom portion sits on the outside of the toolbox. So if you're assembling it, you'll be able to see that. Adjust the camera so you guys can see. It's all about the perfect shot. Get it, make sure it's right center in the frame of focus. Zoom in. All right, we're ready to go. Where's my screwdriver? All right, there's the remaining screws. And I think I should have sped this up. This is like watching paint dry. And here we go. They're 10 times faster. And 1 left. Yeah, I really have to appreciate you guys sticking out the video and watching the whole entire time. I mean, this was sort of painful, but for me to shoot the voiceover for this, I sat and watched the video all the way through. So I'm reliving this experience for the 5th time or the 6th time. I don't know how many times I edited the video before I actually got to this point of doing the voiceover. There's the instructions there that shows you how to put the handle in. And at this point, assembly is done. You just put the little peg hooks. I'm thinking I'm going to try to see if I can find some longer ones. But it comes with short ones, so you can hang small tools or belts or hoses or any kind of tool that hangs off of the side of it. So I just stuck those on there randomly. Oh, look, tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. Alright, thanks for watching, and here's a quick walk around. This is the flip top. There's a close-up of the hinges. Interior shot, that's your locking clamp. All the mats, like I said, do come out. So all the drawers. There's 4 on the toolbox and 2 on the cabinet. There's 3 small ones and 1 deep one on the toolbox and 2 deep ones on the cabinet itself. There's that. And note about the toolbox, be careful when you're poking around on the inside. The screws that you screwed in on the side are sharp and they're poking in there, so you could end up poking yourself or snagging on something. So there's the locking casters on the front, so they're easy to get to. Trying to stage it so you guys can see the depth of the drawers. That's how deep those ones are. You got your handles on the side there, little pegboards on the side there, spare keys, locks. Now the drawers open. When you lift the lid up, then the drawers will open. But when the lid's closed, they won't. It's not very thick metal. As I was trying to demonstrate there, you can see a little bit of flex in it. But it's a starter toolbox. Well, it's my second starter toolbox. Alright, thanks for watching. OG.